is the State of the Union the way I see it. Now, today's topic is healthcare. The biggest story in the news right now is healthcare reform. And since the August break, we've seen senators and congressmen showing up, talking with citizens about the issue. Now, some people like Obama's healthcare plan, but a lot of people have concerns and questions. Some are standing up and saying they don't want a socialized plan. Not everyone is crazy about Obamacare. The debate is becoming serious, and something needs to happen. President Barack Obama has to stand up and make a decision. Now listen up, because this is VIX Politics. Well, you've seen the pictures. This issue is pretty intense. Now, healthcare is a massive concept that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on, and it's personal for a lot of people because it is your healthcare. It's your doctor's visits, it's your trips to the emergency room. Now, the Obama administration tried desperately, or given an A for effort, for trying to get this massive healthcare plan through the House and Senate before the August break. Didn't happen. Thank God it didn't happen. Now, since that break, we've seen town hall meetings, we've seen other public forums where people in droves are coming out and saying they don't want it, stop, there's got to be another way to fix healthcare. And honestly, I don't understand the reason why everyone thinks we have to have a massive overhaul for the healthcare program. We have politicians coming from other countries here for healthcare. This is one of the best nations for healthcare in the world. So, I mean, aside from the other obvious issues that we shouldn't have this, there's no need to have a massive overhaul. Now, there's a lot of junk packed into this bill. Now, Obama says everyone's going to get coverage, healthcare coverage. There are 47 million Americans that need coverage that aren't getting it right now. That number is not even close to accurate. The true number of citizens who haven't turned down healthcare are about 10 to 15 million people. A lot of that 47 that they come up with is illegal immigrants who shouldn't be here in the first place, much less get healthcare. And another portion of that number are those who have turned down healthcare. People have turned down plans. And I just don't see why the rest of the population should just switch gears and empty out their pockets for 15 million. You can call me evil and sadistic for that, but I don't think it's fair to everybody else. You know, majority rules. Majority does not want this. But other things in the bill, there's you've heard of death panels. Bureaucrats will be deciding whether your life is valuable enough to keep, and people will die because of this. People will be set aside to die, and they've put something in place for when they have to make a decision. They have a death counseling. Now, do you really want a bureaucrat coming in to tell you, once they've decided that you should die, how you should die? They just want to keep pushing pills, more pills, more pills, more pills, the same thing that people are in jail for now, basically to push you into some senile form of death, euthanasia. Also, part of this bill, taxpayers, everybody who pays taxes, some of that tax money that you give to the government would be used to fund abortions. So whether you think it's immoral or not, which it's immoral, you would have to pay for it. And I can't even begin to explain how morally disgusting that is. All hospitals will be required to provide abortions, including Catholic hospitals who find it repulsive and against their religion to conduct these procedures. Now, it's kind of sad that I would say, hopefully they decide to go out of business, or out of operation, I guess, if this goes through. Because the idea of Catholic churches performing abortions is just appalling. Now, the biggest thing that people are connecting with the healthcare issue are these town halls. These forms that have been used before, but are really becoming big now, where people come out and ask questions about it, and people are using it to speak out against it. And it's incredible how the left is treating this. The Speaker of the House, the third in line for the presidency, are calling these people who are asking legitimate questions, legitimate concerns. How are we going to pay for this? Un-American. Which is kind of funny because a few years ago, they called anyone who protested great Americans who are, displaying their First Amendment, their, freedom of speech. They've been called Nazis because someone had a swastika with a line through it. That I know you might have to think a little bit to understand what that meant, but that was someone speaking out against socialism. They don't want a communist takeover of the government. That's kind of common sense to me, but apparently not to the Speaker of the House. And the news networks are bashing these people. It's ridiculous. There was a young lady who spoke up in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and she's never been involved in politics. This is the first time she's ever even spoke to a politician, and she's getting hate mail. Her name's being run through the mud. You know, it's ridiculous. She's asked one question, and she's being beaten up for it. Now, luckily, the one real news network, Fox News, brought her on and actually used her to help. Not used her, but given her the platform to speak to more people. It's disgusting how they're being treated by the left and by the President of the United States himself. He, in a town hall, I believe in New Hampshire, nearly demanded that the people who caused this problem, blaming all Republicans, that the people who caused the problem should not be talking. They should sit aside and let the Democrats do whatever they want. That's the President of the United States saying, in so many words, shut up to a large number of Americans. And, I mean, now it's just spiraling out of control. They're talking about taking the private plan, the public plan off the table. Don't believe it. The only thing that's going to possibly get through with this administration is a complete takeover. And he's actually losing some Democrat support in Congress. So it looks like he's done. And if this doesn't go through, it will be the end of his presidency. I mean, technically he has till 2012, but forget getting another term, because if this doesn't go through, the odds of cap and trade going through, or cap and tax, are extremely slim, which I'm extremely excited about. Anything else about healthcare? Don't support this plan. This is a bad plan. This plan will get people killed. Instead, support the Republicans' plan that the Democrats are telling you that they don't have. It includes letting doctors be doctors. People do make mistakes. Sometimes there are medical mistakes. We don't need to beat these doctors to death if something goes wrong. Probably a lot fewer things will go wrong if they know they won't, be strung out over the smallest thing that doesn't go absolutely to plan. Tort reform. Make it so that the doctors can't be sued over every little thing. That'll also lower the cost of having procedures done, because right now doctors have to run absolutely every test, because if they miss something, no matter how small, they're going to be sued out of practice. Also, let competition lower cost. It's capitalism 101. It's been proven to work everywhere. Get the government out of the way. The more companies come up, more competition will lower prices, and will improve plans for citizens. Because if company A is providing this, and this, and the other company is only providing this, and this, then they're going to have to add the other this, or they'll be run out of business, the way capitalism is meant to work. Private companies will not, they won't last against a public option. It just can't. The public option has no overhead, no taxes to pay. They don't have to try to turn a profit. And the president talked about this, saying, well, FedEx and UPS are still around. The Postal Service, a government-run corporate, he's right, by the way. Can't believe I'm saying he said something right. But the government-run U.S. Postal Service has lost $14 billion in 2 years. $14 billion lost by this organization. And they want to run healthcare? If the U.S. Postal Service goes under, we'll be okay. If the healthcare system goes under, a sixth of our nation's economy, we're in some deep, deep crap. There's a simpler solution than all this. Unfortunately, it's gotten so big that it's giving everyone nightmares and headaches. But don't turn away from it. It's an important topic. My next issue will probably have more about us. This is really the only big story going on right now. Oh, and Bill Clinton got into a jet with 2 young women again from North Korea. Nothing new there. Alright, well, thank you as usual. And this has been another episode of Mother Show, but of Vic's Politics. Thank you.